SCX with Mark made me feel young and carefree. I feel guilty, but not enough to stop. What's going on once again, everybody? Welcome to the channel. If you are new to the channel, I invite you to subscribe. Welcome and good to have you. If you are a returning viewer, good to see you again. I'm addicted to having affairs, and I've already had 8 of them. I feel guilty, but not enough to stop. So this article here goes into some of the details of a woman who's been married for 20 years, and she has only been faithful for 6 of those years. In those 14 years, the husband has no idea that what the wife has been doing behind his back. He has no clue whatsoever. And so far, she has had 8 encounters with multiple different men. Let's get into it. A loving wife and mother is completely impenitent about her addiction to having SCX with strangers. During her 20-year marriage, she has had 8 affairs, and her husband knows nothing. You are very deceitful, and you shouldn't be doing that. If your intention is to do that to someone, why are you even with the person? You shouldn't be with that person. That's just deceitful. No. In a recent first-person recount, a 44-year-old married woman confesses to being addicted to the heightened adrenaline of sleeping with other people. So much so that she's now participated in 8 affairs over the course of a 20-year marriage. The woman tells the Daily Mail, "I'm as hooked on illicit SCX as a chronic smoker is to their cigarettes," as she details the psychology of her 2 personalities. "There are 2 sides to me, and they're diametrically opposed. One is a devoted wife and mother who loves her family very much. The other, a sexually voracious woman who is addicted to the thrill of sleeping with someone new." She says all of this with conviction, alongside an unwavering devotion to her husband. And it's not a result of a lack of attention or affection that sparked her desire for forbidden SCX, but rather a deeply rooted longing for excitement. Okay, fine. I get the fact that you're looking for excitement or whatever you want to call it. That is perfectly okay. But why are you doing that at his expense? Why are you intentionally being deceitful to the guy? Why did you even marry the dude if your intention was to be deceitful in the first place? You want to have your cake and eat it too. Why? What's the point? Now he has no idea what you're doing behind his back, and you come home laying next to him. He has no clue, no idea. If you wanted to delete this guy, you could. I sleep with other men purely for the frisson of excitement it injects into an otherwise ordinary and perfectly tolerable life, she recounts. I don't ever want to leave my husband, but I find the idea of only ever sleeping with him for the rest of my life utterly depressing. Again, this is perfectly okay with you wanting to sleep with other people. This is perfectly okay with the idea of you sleeping with just your husband alone is utterly depressing to you. This is perfectly fine. I'm okay with that. But what is the purpose of you marrying the dude when your intention was to secure your future, secure your financial future, and at the same time having your fun on the side? So you found a good guy, you found a nice man who would provide for you and your family, yet at the same time, you on the other side having other men clapping your cheeks. If this was your intention, what you should have told the dude, "Sweetheart, I'm going to marry you. I love you, I'm going to marry you. But at the same time, I'm going to sleep with other men." Go into the marriage being truly transparent. You did not do something like that. You've been deceitful behind the man's back, and that is not good. The woman explains that her and her husband have been married for 20 years, of which she has been unfaithful for 14 of them. "I enjoy the SCX life I share with my husband. We make love once most weeks. which is enough to nurture a sense of intimacy. We're also emotionally close, she assures. But even if our marriage was distant and without sex, it still wouldn't be his fault that I strayed. It's a choice that I make despite knowing that if he or my teenage daughter were ever to find out, it would break their hearts. Intentionally deceitful. That's exactly what you are. The woman goes on to explain that it's not uncommon for a wife's desire to divert among the mundanity of modern household life. She explains how being both a wife and a mother, much the same as being a husband and a father, all of a sudden transforms the way partners instinctively interact with one another. Okay, so what's your point? It sounds like you're trying to find a way to explain it away and justify your actions. You change. The husband did not change. He remains the same. You're the one who transformed. At home, I hear my name called out with great urgency all the time, usually by my husband, Andrew, wanting to know where the other half of his favorite pair of socks has gone. Otherwise, it's my teenage daughter begging for a lift because she missed the bus into town, she explains. In classifying these integral, quotidian interactions of her day to day as ordinary, the woman expresses how her own desires inevitably wavered, and as a result, she began seeking it elsewhere. Her first unfaithful pleasure encounter occurred when her daughter, who is now 18 years old, was just 4. After 4 years of putting my career last, getting it back made me feel like it was time to start prioritizing my own needs. She said, as she mentioned, how joining a gym and getting back into exercising was one of her priorities. Well, ma'am, family life does not stop you from joining a gym or exercising. I mean, once your husband goes to work and your daughter goes to school, you have the rest of the day to do whatever you want. You're using excuses to justify your actions once again. Going to the gym certainly boosted my confidence, but that had more to do with the attention I got from the good looking men I worked out alongside than any physical transformation. Soon enough, the fantasies started to trickle in, and unable to contain herself, she began imagining herself with one of the men from the gym while making love to her husband. She soon found that this somewhat innocent notion effectively rebooted her sex life with a husband. And when one of the men from the gym soon suggested going for an intimate drink, the woman found she had no hesitation. I shocked myself with how quickly I said yes. I didn't think about Andrew or how it would make him feel. This felt entirely separate from the life we shared. Fellas, the gym, the gym. It's something that's always going on at the gym. If you're a relationship guy, if you're a married guy, protect your investment. Your wife is your investment, right? If your wife is going to work out, just try to work out with her and minimize the urges of her wanting to sleep with other men. That's just something you should try. Honestly, as bad as it is, you gotta know this is human nature. People attracted to other people. Opposite sex attracts. It's just inevitable. You cannot avoid these interactions. And honestly, the best way you can protect yourself from this occurring is just being there and work out alongside your wife. Now, the schedules may not coincide, but hey, just know that this most likely is inevitable, that this might happen. Chasing the thrill of desire in the rush of infidelity, the woman pursued her cravings with this younger man, and when she cheated for the first time, she inevitably sparked the start of a relentless yearning for more. SCX with Mark made me feel young and carefree. I'd been so wrapped up in my family, I'd forgotten how exciting life could be away from domesticity. Like the eternal quitter, Each time I fall into bed with a man who isn't my husband, I vow it will be the last. Only it never is. Of course. So a lot of women who's married are describing their life as being domesticated and being domestic or whatnot. My question to you all, how would you describe the life of your husband? If your life is domestic and you feel domesticated, what do you call the life of your husband? Though, after her first time, the guilt of her actions weighed heavy on her, and the thought of potentially losing her family as a result was enough to make her retract into her domestic ways. However, this only lasted a year until she met her second secretive partner. At first, I felt so relieved to have got away with it. I didn't look sideways at another man for a good year. But then I met James on a night out with some girls from work. Looking at him brought back memories of the unbridled passion I shared with Mark, the man from the gym. I felt a reckless and overwhelming longing to feel that level of pleasuring excitement again. Over the course of her infidelity, the woman outlines a total of four short lived affairs in which she would regularly meet up with a certain man in secret over the course of a few months. The other four interactions remain one night stand. Amen. For you married guys, for you guys in relationships, just know what you're signing up for. You never know when the person you're with, when they come home, who is she licking. You never know that. And when they're like, oh, I got to take a shower real quick. Yeah, something is up. Just know, man, what you sign up for. And she details that this is all part of the appeal. The primary factor being the new and exciting pleasure encounters, the other being the fact that she knows it's wrong, but she gets away with it anyway. And as far as she is aware, her husband has no idea that any of these instances have occurred. See, the good thing for her, she's having her fun on the side. The man doesn't know anything, and she's being taken care of. The family is intact. Her bill is getting paid. The man is taking care of the family. Everything is taken care of. She has the family, the protection, the loyalty of the husband, and she's having her fun on the side. But he has no clue, no idea. And it could be for the wife too as well. It doesn't matter. On either side, it's wrong. If you intend on doing this, just be upfront and be honest about your intention. Now, what's going on in your family, either on the men's side or the woman's side, you're always the last to find out. Everyone knows your business, but you don't know anything that's going on. I've never looked to replace my husband. Every fling has been either with younger men or ones married with children. In other words, blokes too young or otherwise committed to want to make things any further. I also find them validating. Being wanted by these men in such a purely physical way makes me feel like I've somehow still got it. No, they just want to release themselves. It's not because you got it or anything. That's just the way we are. We just find you and we release and let you go. We don't want to be with you either. I take full responsibilities for my own indiscretions, she assures. I feel guilty, but not enough to stop. In fact, the woman currently has another regular fling in motion at the moment with a recent new employee at her company. As she explains, spark ignited immediately, and the man, who is also married, was the first to plant the seed. Oh yeah, I can tell you where he planted that seed. I can tell you. We already know. Of all the affairs have had, this is proven the easiest to navigate. And his great company as well has been good in bed, which would explain why it's lasted so long. I do sometimes wonder though whether Simon will be my last lover. It occurred to me that menopause might soon pour cold water over my libido, meaning I'll naturally settle into a more honest way of life. That would be ideal, the woman says earnestly. But for now, the idea of never sleeping with someone for the first time again, the thought that those feelings of pure lust, impossible to conjure with someone you've been making love to for years, belongs in my past, is something I simply can't reconcile to myself. So for 14 years, she's been living a double life. For 14 years, she's been having all kinds of pleasure encounters behind her husband's back. And all this time, he's been there, just being a good man, just being the good guy, just being the best husband that he could be. And now that menopause is setting in, and now she wants to be honest and live the normal life. Oh, I've never done anything. I'm so pure. I'm this, I'm that. I've never done anything behind my husband's back. And that is a complete lie. All this time you've been having your fun. And he's at no point you mention in your story here where he's been either going behind your back or has been doing anything that you're aware of. You're the one who's transformed once again. You're the one who did not keep your end of this bargain. You're the one who's been unfaithful. It's very deceitful. And later on, you're going to be interacting with your husband after menopause like you're such a wonderful little granny, like such a wonderful little woman. And for all of you out there, yeah, man, it's a fact. Your grandmother has been in these streets too. She was in these streets. Now that she's old, she can't do the things that she used to do in her younger years. Oh, my grandmother is so innocent. No, she's not. She was never innocent. Your grandmother was young too. She's done the same thing that you do. You know, for you guys, hey, you know what you sign up for. You know what you're signing your life up for. I wish you all the best and good luck with the person that you choose. Once again, thank you for checking out the video. Let us know what you think in the comment below. Subscribe to the channel, like the video on your way out, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.